Welcome to Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I'm so glad you joined me today. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I'm Amanda. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you're listening on a podcast, please scroll down and rate the podcast. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. So today, and if you notice, I'm wearing the same outfit as last week. I had to batch record today as I actually had some free time. Imagine that right now with the holidays. So I'm recording this a week early, but I wanted to talk about kind of prepping for the holidays, the stress of the holidays, and everything that goes along with them. So yeah, let's just get started. Once Halloween is over, everything seems to just go so fast. I don't know if it's that way for you guys. It is always that way for me. I have to start prepping the Thanksgivings. My dad's side of the family, we actually celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving together since there's such a big family. It's the only way we can all kind of get together. And even now that most everyone's kids are a little older, a lot of them only are here for Thursday, where it used to be kind of a Wednesday through Saturday thing. And, you know, all the women would get up Friday and go shopping together, and all my aunts would do that. No one does that anymore. I think we're lucky to even get everyone here Thursday, and then they all leave again Thursday. I think my sisters I'll actually get to see a little longer, so that's nice. It's always fun, and but yeah, so it's kind of sad how things change as you get older, and you have to find new normal in all of that. I knew things would change once my grandparents were no longer here. My grandpa has passed away on my dad's side. My grandma's still living, but she has dementia and she is in a nursing home, and they don't like to take her out because it makes her very confused and it just upsets her. And so I think the past 2 years, I know last year we didn't get to have her there. And so no one wants to make as much of an effort without them around, which I understand, but is also sad because we like to see the rest of them too. Like I said, it's a pretty big family. I have one aunt and uncle that have a pretty big house, and they host everyone. They're so generous that way. They host everybody, and we're all there. Usually we go Wednesday night and have a meal. The kids hang out. They live on my grandparents' old farm, and so the kids just have a blast running around, driving side by sides and golf carts, and sometimes riding horses if one of my cousins are there to saddle them up. And so running around the same place that I used to run around as a kid, I love that. I love that they get to do that because my sisters and I just loved that place growing up so much. And Thursday, me and my female cousins, and my aunts will all get together and cook everything, get the meal started. The guys handle the turkeys out in the barn because they have the smokers, and my husband has an oilless fryer that makes the turkey delicious. And so they do all of that out in the barn. I am typically floating between the two places, so I try to get as much cooked at home beforehand as I can so that I'm not stuck in the kitchen all day, because I'll be back in there to help with dishes later that day. I used to go to my mom's and split the day, but with everything that went down with her, I won't go into details, but with everything that went down with her, I no longer do that. one or two of my sisters, I believe, is going to go over there and still do that. Um, their husbands, well, one of the husbands will go there. The other three will not. So, um, I just was, I'm not splitting my family up. I'm going to spend my Thanksgiving with my husband and my kids. And since I have gotten older and taken over the planning of all of it, I feel responsible for it. And so I like to just stay in the one spot. It's been so nice the past few years not having to worry about rushing from one place to the other, and not getting to spend enough time at either place. And so I just stay at my aunt and uncle's house the whole day, and a lot of the night, because the kids do a gift exchange after all the dishes are done, and then the women and men split up and do Dirty Santa, and that's always fun. The guys have the most ridiculous gifts you can find. It's usually pretty hilarious. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a little different because several of the nieces and nephews have aged up into the adult ones, so we kind of have to watch that. Sometimes there's a lot of alcohol being passed around, and so you move up when you're 18, but not all of them are old enough for alcohol, so that's going to be interesting. I'm trying to think what else we do. We used to have a big hayride on the Friday morning after, and then cook roast hot dogs and have s'mores and things back at the house. But I think my kids are going to be the only ones there unless one of my sisters stays longer and her kids will be there. Otherwise, it'll just be us. So I don't know if we'll even make my aunt and uncle go through all the trouble for our kids. Although they'll be very sad if they don't get to do that because they look forward to it. A lot of times we'll take pistols and shot rifles and things and go shoot out in their field. They have a big hill where it's a good place to shoot and practice, and they'll have some targets out there, and so it's always fun to go out there and shoot. I have a new pistol that I got months and months ago, but I haven't got to shoot it yet, and so I'm hoping we at least get to do that. So that'll be fun. So yeah, and we have, my husband and kids have traditions that, while they're fun, it adds a lot to my plate as far as planning. But I've got most of it down already. I make lots of lists and try to break it up a little bit so it's not so much, because cost of groceries, as you know, is insane. And while it was almost instant relief when Trump got reelected a couple weeks ago, it's almost as if whoever the powers that be that are still in charge right now, it's almost like they jacked the prices up higher just in the last week or two, because they know, the end of that is coming, God willing, when Trump goes into office. And so just buying groceries the past couple weeks just hurts even more than it has been the past couple years. But anyway, we have a lot of fun traditions. Some of them are carried over from things we used to do when I was a kid. Some we've kind of just adapted between my husband and I. But we decorate the tree normally the weekend before Thanksgiving. But Thanksgiving falls so late this year that we are actually decorating our tree. So by the time you hear this, I will have decorated my tree because we are doing it tomorrow. The kids brought everything in from the shed. Oh, let me tell you, when there are certain phases of life that are just little baby steps easier than other ones. To not have to lug all the totes in and out of the shed myself has been amazing. This year, the kids did it all by themselves. They went and got them out, brought them in. I put the tree together and fluff it, and one of them helped me put the lights on. Our daughter took all the decorations that go just in the house, and she put them all up and changed out, because a lot of times you have to take one picture down to put something Christmassy up, and she did all of that. They took all the totes back to the shed. Oh, I cannot tell you how much that helped me because, especially dealing with the health issues that I deal with and not having a lot of energy, that was such a huge help. It made the chore of putting the tree up a million times lighter, and I didn't get very grouchy this year, so that was helpful. I did have to get grouchy about something, but it didn't have anything to do with the tree. So thankfully they are getting older. I was already starting to kind of dread when they are both out of the house, because then it will fall on me again by myself. And I might have to make my husband help me with that when the kids move out. But this year I was very, very thankful that they helped with that. But we make a big deal out of decorating the tree. We'll put on a Christmas movie or two, and typically we let the kids kind of put all the ornaments on for the most part now. And I make a bunch of snacks, Chex Mix, Grinch Punch, homemade fudge. Oh, that reminds me, I needed to make that today. Homemade fudge. My husband requested a cheese ball this year. I get a tray. I have all these pretty fancy trays that I typically only use for us. No one ever comes over at Christmas time. And I don't typically have anywhere to take all of these. Some of them get taken out with things, but the majority of them just get put on for us. And if I remember, I will try and post pictures on Instagram. It's just a fun little spread for us. And so we all that's our supper for the night. I'll also make like sausage balls so that we have some kind of healthy protein in there somewhere. So yeah, pickles, olives, Ritz crackers with the spray cheese, and just all the fun little snacks. And we have a whole big spread on the table. Everybody fills their plate up. We go watch Christmas movies after we've decorated the tree while it's all lit up. And that's just fun. It's fun for us. So we typically do that right before Thanksgiving so that we have a longer time to enjoy it. And I'm always, we're so busy at Thanksgiving and things like that. So it's nice to already have that done. I don't like to wait too late. I don't like to feel like I've gone through all that work for just enjoying it for 2 or 3 weeks. I want to enjoy it for a good couple months before I have to do all the work to take it back down. Again, that will be a much easier chore with the kids helping me now. So thankful for that. Cannot stress that enough. I am so thankful. Because it was mostly on me for years and years and years. And I don't have the energy that I used to. So anyway, we will next week, and then homeschooling has been interesting this year. One of the huge perks of homeschooling is that you get to make your own schedule, and when things come up, you can move things around. And this fall, we have had to do that. Where we live, summer is the majority of our year, and it's miserable most of the time. So we tend to do most of our schooling in the summer. We take all pretty much the whole month of December off. Now, the way things worked out between my son's yearly asthma checkup, getting things ready for Thanksgiving, getting things ready to decorate the tree. It seems like something else came up this week. A 4-H meeting. There was just a lot going on. So we traded the first week in December for this week and took this week off. And we'll have school next week. And then the week of Thanksgiving we'll be off. And then we'll have school the first week in December. And then we'll be off for 3 weeks. And while it's not the way I planned to do it originally, it's nice to have that flexibility because there is so much of the year that we're stuck indoors. The winter time, sometimes it's just brutally cold, mostly because of the wind. It is just ridiculously windy around here. And so you're stuck inside with that. And then, like I said, the majority of the summer is insanely miserable. So we're stuck inside for all of that. So the time that I've had to take away in the fall, we will definitely make up for in the summertime. And I love that about homeschooling because we get to work around the nice weather because we do have so many awful days where you can't be outside. I like that we can take the time off when it is kind of nice out. We had to do that a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago because I wanted to work on painting the house. There was especially one section of the house. Well, all I ended up getting to do at that point, thanks to the weather. And, but I got to get it done. I got to focus on that and pause school for a week and make up for it a different time. And that's been awesome. And it's been nice. And I love that about homeschooling. But yeah, so we will take December off so that we can, hit all the Christmas parties without having to stress ourselves out making up school. We bake cookies. That is an all-day process, and you need a whole day for that. I typically make pumpkin rolls. A few more again in December. That was the other thing I needed. I needed a whole day for baking pumpkin rolls this week because I usually bake 2 for my husband to take to work for all the guys, and then one that I stuck in the freezer for my family Thanksgiving because we all have to bring a dessert and snacks because you're snacking all day until it's time to eat dinner. But there's one of the guys my husband works with that really loves my pumpkin rolls, and so he typically pays me to make one again in December, and so I will make that one. I'll make one just for us to get to eat, because while I make them and everybody else gets to enjoy them, I typically don't get a lot of it, and sometimes the kids don't either. And let's see. Oh, and my daughter wanted to make one to take to her youth group Christmas party. So we'll do another round of baking those. And then, like I said, the whole day of baking Christmas cookies and getting those ready. And then just, shopping and prepping for all of that, wrapping presents. I'm really trying. I have tried the past few years and failed at keeping it low stress for myself. This year, though, I am determined. I am not stressing myself out over Christmas. I do want and pray that everything will go right and nothing will mess up. If I buy clothes that it'll fit, if we buy something it'll work, and that it'll be the right thing that they asked for and what they want, and that everyone will be happy. But I am not going to put the pressure of everyone's happiness on myself this year. I'm learning that it is not my responsibility I am not responsible for other people's happiness, and they are not responsible for mine. I'm responsible for mine. They are responsible for theirs. And I will do my best as far as picking out the gifts they've asked for and things that I think that they would like and that they want. But I am not putting that pressure on myself this year. I want to, pace myself wrapping gifts so that I'm not miserable. I want to enjoy the holidays myself without stressing, trying to pack it all in. Um, and I want to be able to enjoy the holidays. I do everything for months trying to make everything perfect up until that day, and then I'm typically worn out and miserable that day because someone wasn't happy with something, or something didn't go right, and so now it's all on me, and I don't want that this year. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy the kids opening things. I want to enjoy just the moment of my husband and my kids and I all sitting around the tree and enjoying our meals together and doing all of those things. Like, I want to enjoy it. I don't want it to be miserable this year. And so I am going to, on my end, change my mentality that I am not responsible for everyone else's happiness or reactions to things. I will do my best, and that is going to be good enough. And if it isn't, that's on them and not on me this year. I am not going to take that on myself anymore. I'm done with that. So, yeah, we'll see if I accomplish that. That's my goal. I am trying. And after Christmas, I will let you know if I was able to do that. After 47 years of being conditioned to that I am responsible for everyone and everything that goes on around me, it might be a little hard and it might be a work in progress, but I am going to try this year. So, yeah. I am trying to pace myself with gifts. I've already bought a few. I'm going to ask for more help picking out gifts and buying gifts and wrapping gifts this year so that it isn't all on me and isn't so stressful and hard for me this year. I just want to enjoy it. I want to have fun. I don't want to be cliche and say, oh, everything's too commercialized, but it is. I want to focus on what Christmas is really about. I want my kids to focus on that. I want it to not necessarily be about get, and, I want to just enjoy our time as a family together and appreciate that and have fun with that. Maybe play a game together, something like that. I think that week's gonna actually be pretty fun. My cousin that actually introduced my husband and I and is his best friend, him and his wife and kids are coming up, so they'll be at my uncle's house. It's like a few blocks away, and they'll be there all Christmas week. So while we might not see them a ton Christmas Day, we will be able to hang out and see them that week, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. She and I love discussing reading and books and stuff together and history, and so we have a blast talking like that, and our kids get along, and so I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll help with Christmas being in the middle of the work week. So hopefully that'll kind of relieve some of that. So yeah, and I don't know what our New Year's plans are yet. There's something going on up at the lake near us we're looking into. I haven't seen how much that is yet this year. So kind of waiting to see that. New Year's is always hit or miss with us. Like, I think we've only ever done something fun twice on New Year's, and we've been together 18 years. We're just not huge New Year's Eve people. Um, oh, I was going to tell you more about our traditions. Christmas Eve, I will typically take the kids lately, since everything has changed with my mom. I used to go to my mom's Christmas Eve night and Christmas Day, which my husband hated because he didn't want to have to leave the house. For me, I'm still getting used to not leaving the house on Christmas. We have always had to leave the house Christmas growing up. We would go from my mom's to the town I live in now, where my uncle is, and see him and my cousins. I've just always gone somewhere on Christmas Day, so it's still weird for me to be home. But him and the kids like it a lot better because they get to enjoy. He didn't have to go somewhere, and then the kids don't have to leave their toys and the things they got for Christmas. So I understand that. So we've changed things up. I take the kids to her house because she lives on a farm. And so they go ride golf cart, and she has some fun little special things she does with them. They sing Christmas carols to the cows that are in the field next to them and her donkeys. My brother that lives at home with them has a little barn that they go get hot cocoa and snacks and things, and then we exchange gifts. And then we'll come home, and all the snacks that we had to decorate the tree, the Chex Mix and the fudge and the punch and all of those things, I'll have more of that made. And Christmas Eve night we'll do the same thing. We'll hang we open our stockings Christmas Eve night, and then I typically have one gift, usually Christmas pajamas, for everybody to open, and we eat our snacks and we watch a Christmas movie. And my kids have I've passed on something to them. If you listened to last week's episode when I talked about tapping into my creative side that I always had growing up, before video cameras were accessible, I would write plays for Christmas. One time I did something solely by drawing. I think I did the whole Twas the Night Before Christmas. I drew pictures with it, went behind the couch and put the pictures up as I read the story. I had to do something creative and entertaining at Christmas. And then when I think I was 16, and my family got a video camera, then we made a movie. And we made a movie for years. My sisters and I would typically write it until one of my youngest sister got a little older. She would help me. And I would force them to be in it and to act in it. They always had fun in the end. And so I have all these movies. You can't watch them all now because of how bad the VHS tapes have gotten. But I pass that on to my kids. And now my daughter writes a play or a movie. And they record it on the phone. She uploads it to my laptop and she edits it and has opening credits and everything. Although she has it a lot easier than I did. I used to have to sit there and rewind and re-record with the camcorder. It was a mess how I had to do it back in the day, but it was fun and I loved it. And every year I did it for years and years and years, up until I pretty much had kids, because I would make my brothers be in it, and then my kids when they were little. And so now she's taken over. I get to step back and enjoy it and not have to do it anymore, unless they need me for a part. So I love that. That's one of our traditions. And we'll typically watch that Christmas Eve night. And then Christmas morning, of course, Santa comes and we see what he brought. And then I like to drag out opening presents because, again, I'm not used to being home all day. And so I don't want to get it over with. I don't like that. And everyone else in my house kind of fights me on that. But I want to drag, like, I've worked so hard for this holiday. I want to drag it out and enjoy it. I don't want it over in half an hour. Um, so I usually make them uh, enjoy what they got from Santa while I cook breakfast. And the past few years, our tradition is I make a raspberry strudel that is shaped like a candy cane, and it's so yummy. Um, so I'll make that, and then I'll let them open a few presents. They usually want to end up opening all of them. I try to drag it out, but to make it keep going a little bit, we do a Christmas night gift. I buy something specifically for Christmas night that is fun to open right before bed, and so it's you still have that one thing, because my husband and I both would just kind of like get depressed at Christmas night when before we had kids. It was just like there's that letdown of it's all over. There's nothing else to look forward to. Even though as a mom now, I'm kind of like, I'm good. I'm fine with that. But it is nice to have that one last gift to look forward to. So I'm glad that we started that tradition. That's something that's just us. We've started that for our family. My family growing up, we didn't do that. So that's always fun. I love that. I always get my husband something, and I pick out something for him to get me. And so it's just always fun to end on that right before bed. We wait till right before bed to do that. And then, yeah, then we'll be done with everything until New Year's. And unfortunately for me and my planning, I don't get a break. We start birthdays up 2 weeks after Christmas with my husband's, and then the next month it's our son and my dad and a sister, and then 2 weeks after that it's me and my daughter. And so we go straight from Christmas into birthday season. I've got like a 2 week breather, because typically, because the shipping is so crazy right before Christmas, I typically have to do my husband's birthday and Christmas shopping all at the same time, and then try and decide what to save for his birthday and what to save for Christmas. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to get it in time. So, yeah, I typically have to plan all of that together, just so I can make sure he actually has gifts by the time it's his birthday. Because the post office kind of goes crazy that time period from like a week before Christmas to 2 weeks after. They're kind of nuts. So, yeah. I have a lot of planning to do. I've got my spreadsheets. I have my spreadsheet for Thanksgiving. I probably need to update because my cousins have texted a few things since I updated last. Last night I started the Christmas spreadsheet. I have to do that so that I make sure I spend the same amount on the kids and don't go nuts, or don't accidentally spend more on one than the other, or have too many gifts for one and not enough for the other. So, because my brain just thinks in spreadsheets, I make one and keep track of it. And I even have a little column for if something, because sometimes I'll put in what they want, and then so I'll put a little B if it's bought, and if it's when it's wrapped, it gets a W. It's just how my brain works. I know, it's crazy. My family thinks I'm nuts, but it's the only way I can stay organized, and it's the only way I can keep track of everything. Or who knows how Christmas would be. it would be a crap show if I didn't have my spreadsheets. But anyway, I will end this now. And next week, I will not have an episode because it's Thanksgiving and everyone's going to be too busy to pay attention to me anyway. So, the week after, I will try to have something out. Again, if you listened last week, I am praying about the direction that this is going to go in, and where God wants me to take it. I still believe that the podcast was from Him, and so I want to take it in the direction he wants. And so that's my goal for the next couple weeks. But until then, happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.